is Anthony.
This is Stefanie.
This is Isaac.
Welcome to our 13th podcast.
Oh boy.
We've officially done it 13 weeks in a row.
Oh, we hit the teens.
We get the teens.
That's exciting.
This week we're going over how to survive
That's
the holidays.
cool. Sorry, but that's cool.
We
It
just
is.
keep
You
it.
gotta
around
bask
here.
in that for a little bit.
Think about it. The whole.
I wonder if we have anybody who's watched
all 13.
every episode.
Has to be somebody who's watched all 13. Mom.
If you have, you should reach out to us on Facebook.
Yeah, let us know if you watched all 13 of these. That'd be awesome.
Please do.
Reach out on Facebook or in the comments down here with all the links and the other stuff that we'll probably
Try and
have
do
on
something
there.
special for you.
Yeah. Do like your own little podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, you
Dude,
watched all
nice.
13. We'll do like a little podcast centered around your questions.
Oh, now it feels good too. Yeah.
Yeah, the temperature just dropped.
Perfect.
Oh, I know.
Perfect.
Thank goodness.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. So if you've seen all 13, or want to
Yeah.
go back and watch all 13,
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
We'll
know
be
of
answering
one
questions.
person who said she watched all of them, so we'll see. We'll see
yeah,
who's
I have
actually
one
watched them all.
person who possibly may have. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Or she may not know how to navigate it. So, but if she did, she would watch all 13. So, if we made a playlist and sent out a link,
We can do that. I can actually make a playlist in the
YouTube,
recap
right?
video. So where I put that little recap at the end, I usually link it to the first video, but I can link it to a whole playlist.
there you go.
And then just put them all in succession.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I figured out some of the stuff like with the tags that people put on there to
Sweet.
link to other things.
Look at us.
I know.
Yep.
But our the last one took forever to upload. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Oh,
YouTube
It
was
was
hating.
really was that the really long one?
That was
I think
the
that
hour
one
and
was.
10 minute long one.
Yeah.
I felt like we've done longer ones.
I don't
No?
I don't
No.
think so. I think by the time we're
Whoa,
done-
really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. It feels like they're shorter now.
Yeah. They're flowing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because typically most of them have been around like at most like 50 minutes.
Yeah. So this is the first one we did that was longer than that. Yeah.
Cool. What are we talking about today, guys?
Surviving the holidays.
Yeah.
I actually have a client who does watch some of these episodes, and she really loved the stress one. By the way, I think I already told you.
Yeah.
Good.
So she really loved the stress one, but it's around that time where Thanksgiving feasts at work, so they have their luncheon, and she was like very worried about it.
Yeah.
And she does a pro coach, and today's lesson, or that lesson on yesterday, I guess it was yesterday, yeah, happened to be eat what you want.
Yeah.
How crazy is
Oh
that?
my
It's like the perfect
gosh.
time.
But in the pro coach, the lesson, what it kind of wants you to spotlight on is pay attention as to why you make the decisions of eating whatever you want, right? So they're still trying to get you to pay attention to why you're doing it.
I like that.
And then the second thing they wanted you to do was to kind of create and have a plan as to what are you going to eat. Make time for the things you want, but don't go past that. Or make room for the things you want to eat, but don't go over. And
I like that.
yeah, and she dialed it in,
Yeah.
and just she stuck to, like I got to read the answers. Like, of course, we get the notifications.
Yeah.
So I got to read the answers before it actually happened, and I wrote back like, "This is awesome. I love it." And yeah, I just got to see her again, and she said that yeah, she nailed it. She stuck to her plan, and it felt good.
That's awesome.
So like you do it once, there's the habit, right? You do that habit one time, everything you said, eat what you want, and you still managed to. It was a success, right? She still won the day, so you can still do that. And every time you have an event, right, the holidays, pay attention as to what you're eating, or maybe even just have a plan as to what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I love that. See, because we've touched on, like, with the diet fads and stuff like that, like, around holiday times, when you go out, you can't eat.
Yeah.
But when you're not dieting, you can. Like, you can go to Thanksgiving and still eat a very healthful meal, even if you're one of the people who brings a side dish that's vegetables.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Having something else to eat.
That's true.
And I think that's awesome. Like, you can still eat healthfully and enjoy your life. There's no stopping the enjoyment of spending time with people that you love and the people that you want to be with just because you're trying to eat better.
Mm.
Was it, I think it was you and I that were talking about, like, when you go, this may have been one of our earlier podcasts, I honestly don't remember. Like, when you go somewhere, people don't remember, did you eat my pie? They remember, were you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that?
Yeah.
And it's
We did.
because when you
It
think
was
about
a
it,
bad
like,
diet. That was a really good
that's
one.
right, yeah.
We always go back to that one.
because that one's it really is like it's perfect for holidays because they don't remember what you ate, what you didn't eat. So if you bring in the vegetable platter, if you bring in something like that, and that's what you're snacking on, they remember that you were there. They remember that they may have made a comment about the fact that you were eating all the vegetables. Maybe they remember that, but they remember everything else that was going on that day. It's not so much, oh, you didn't eat my pumpkin pie, you didn't eat this, you didn't eat that. And if they do, if they make it like a point to say something like that, it's like, all right, I'll have a little bit because this way I'm in control. It's what I want to do. You know, eating what you want versus that binge where you just break and you can't stop eating it.
Yeah. Knock, 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 knock.
It's David. He
Is
needs
that-
to grab his bag.
Oh, he can come in.
Yeah.
Come in, Kamek.
It's a lot.
Oh, it's a lot?
It's a lot.
Sorry, Canada. What's up, man?
Just throw his shit.
Okay, let's bag.
Lighting's good today.
Sweet.
Thanks, bud.
2:30 break.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, okay. It's,
What? You don't have time to go home.
It's 12:58.
I can get 20 minutes in.
Okay. Steve is going to the vet today.
So we decided to keep Steve.
We have not decided to keep Steve.
You
That's a lie.
liar.
We
We
are-
talked about this 4
We
weeks ago.
we are really close to deciding to keep Steve.
If 4 weeks
But
ago
it's
we talked
still-
about it, it's been 4 weeks. You can't get rid of Steve now.
Well, it's officially because it's been 4 weeks now. We need to take him to the vet because I can't keep him locked up in that room.
And keep in mind, Steve's been up here on each one of these podcasts.
How are
and
they-
mistaken him.
I know.
Yeesh.
That's true.
So that means you're stuck with him.
I am stuck with him.
He's been like 7 out of 13. That's like.
Oh my gosh, he's only been on like 3.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, I feel like we talked about Steve before we put a
Well, you
picture
know
of
what?
Steve up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
No,
think
we
probably
definitely
did.
talked about Steve before.
Yeah, the last like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Well, how does he interact with the other cats? Nah.
It's actually not bad. Jax didn't like him for a while, but Jax is kind of starting to play with him now, and Sphinx plays with him.
Is there like a way you? Because I know with dogs, I'm sure there was a way with cats, but when you well, it was different with Dina because they just
Yeah.
whatever. But you can like alpha it and teach them to like each other or nah.
Not really. Cats are like stupidly territorial, and so I started to introduce them like to his smell. Like when I'd go rub his face and stuff, they'd smell me and then they'd hiss at my hands and walk away. And like, yeah.
Dogs
So-
are just like, what the?
What
This
is
smells
that?
amazing. What is
Yeah,
this?
no,
This is
there
a
was one
different
time that
smell.
he had like nuzzled into my neck and like had like pretty much like tried to suckle on my neck, and I went and scooped up Jax, and Jax smelled me and like pushed away and just like growled and hissed at me, and he was like, I don't want anything to do with you. So I put him down, I washed my face, scooped him up, and he was like, oh hey, hi, I love you
Oh.
again. But because I smelled like
Yeah.
Steve, he didn't want anything to do with me.
Ah,
But
Steve.
they're starting to get along. Poof, she's a grump, so I'm not really surprised. So when he comes over, he's just kind of learned to just go around the white cat. Don't mess with the white cat; she's gonna get mad at me.
Oh,
And so
that's-
he'll play with the rest of them, and run around and stuff.
He's getting bigger and stronger, so once he gets big enough to defend himself, he's gonna be all right.
that's pretty much what happened with Jax. Is Jax has kind of started to been like, okay, you can't, be mean to me anymore. So now Poof is like really friendly with him, and she'll come up and like
Cool.
nuzzle with him, and like they'll groom each other, and it's fine. So they're getting along
Gotcha.
pretty
Because
well.
they used to have issues.
They did not get along, and so but we've had Jax for almost a year now.
Yeah.
And so it'll be fine with Poof. She's just very standoffish. So as long as he gives her space, it'll be fine in the long run. But so far, it's all right. So he goes to the vet today to make sure that he doesn't have any issues. Yay.
Dude, and
And what
someone
about
else
your cat?
has 2 more cats.
We don't,
Oh my
technically not
gosh.
ours yet. Because
No,
the guy
it's
hasn't
yours.
like officially moved out. He's just like, dude moves out, abandons his 2 cats. We've been taking care of these cats because of the fact that he hasn't been home for 2 weeks. So these cats have been living on my front patio for
Hey,
2
name him
weeks.
Bruce Wayne. Bruce and Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
Aw.
Well, it's cat friend, new cat friend, and old cat friend.
That's the name?
That's the name.
Ava?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
That
well,
is
that works.
so cute.
Yeah. Because we had one for a while who was like hanging out there when the family was still living next door, and then one who just like appeared. He's the new cat friend, which that's the one we think is a male. The other one is like super friendly, and she's a female. Like, hey, we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a way to know?
Yep.
Because they
lift up
probably
their
got
tail.
fixed, right? Well, if they get fixed, it doesn't matter.
No, you can still tell.
Oh, you can set up. Oh, so bro,
Just gotta lift it up the
What's-
chest.
yeah.
You just gotta lift up. That's really it. Like
I was like, maybe there's a
Slight-
tougher way. Dude.
No.
slight invasion of privacy. But that's about it.
Yeah.
I know the one's a female.
Oh,
No,
okay. Yeah.
Because like she pointed at me.
Yeah, they're not very.
Cats
Cats
are
are such a
crazy,
butt. Like
dude.
they're very
Man. Mm-mm.
in your personal space. Very
That's.
much in your
You know
personal
what? I might get an outdoor house, and we had that discussion, right? I might get an outdoor house cat, but this won't be till like I have my own house.
Yeah, that's. that'd be a
And
good idea.
but so like, that's a long time off. But it's just so they can kill insects and mice.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's
not-
awesome.
I don't even want them inside. Like you're still a cat. I don't even know if I'm gonna name you.
Must have a name, even if it's outdoor kitty.
Outdoor cat. Hey.
Outdoor cat friend.
Hey.
Outdoor cat friend.
You know,
That's
like,
so funny.
but, because I read on Uber Facts that they spend like a third of their day hunting, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's
It's funny
crazy.
because, like I've said, I think I've said on here, my grandpa has a lot of outdoor cats, and that's where I found Steve, was on the side of the road over there. But it's funny because, like, he's got a lot of kittens, and so the mom will, they're like little ducks. They all go out, and they stand around the gopher hole, and they sit and they wait.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's actually, like, crazy to watch them, like, catch a gopher, because eventually the gopher, like, doesn't pay attention unless it can smell them.
But even, or
But
yeah.
sometimes, like, they popped up, and I've seen them just go toss it and then just play
Or he
with
gets
it.
hungry, he wants
Yeah.
he needs to come out.
It's crazy.
All right, back to the topic.
That actually, I mean, that does segue back into it though, because when you think about it, that's what surviving the holidays is. You got that obnoxious family member that you can't stand that's trying to kill the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, you got that Steve in every household. He just wants to play
Yes.
with you, but you just want to rip his head off.
Yep.
And then you got the old grumpy person in every household. I mean, think about it. Every family's got one.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're it.
Yeah.
You're
If
it.
you don't, you're it. If you don't have that person, like if we go through all these people that you have in your family, and you don't have that person, that's your person.
Yeah.
Like, that's who you are.
That's you.
Now I'm like, which one am I?
You're Steve.
You're Steve.
I'm Steve. You're the Steve. We don't have a Steve.
Oh my gosh.
What's how can we inform them to use exercise to?
Well, that's actually, so we go through this every year, and this is funny because Thanksgiving, the gym flow is always the same. It's been this way when I lived in New York. It's been this way since I've been here. Everyone gets up and they hit it like stupid hard the morning before Thanksgiving, thinking they're going to undo what they do the day of Thanksgiving. And I think that's mistake number one, because they come in, they work out super hard, their appetite goes up. So don't think about exercising to burn off what you're about to eat, because all you're going to do is basically leave the gym, go home, you're hungry from the workout that you did because you just worked your backside off, then you're not going to eat until you get to whatever party you're going to. So you're going to try and fast after burning a ton of sugar out of your workout.
Oh, it's awful.
And that's where the binge eating comes from.
Yeah.
Because
That
everyone
happens
leaves
a lot, you're right.
with
That's
the best
true.
intention. You have that, okay, I'm going to get the vegetable platter. And that's what I have. I'm going to have one slice of pie. I'm going to have whatever it is. And then you get there and you're just like,
And you can't stop.
yeah.
It's a light that turns on.
Your
It's
body's like,
literally-
finally.
It's like, geez, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Man, I worked out today. It don't matter.
Exactly. And I'm going to work out hard again tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a food hangover tomorrow morning, or an actual hangover tomorrow morning, which either one is not going to be conducive to coming in and working out. And that's like,
Probably a both.
yeah.
It's probably you're gonna have both. So if you drink, if you're drinking, you're gonna have both.
Yeah, and what sucks is this will be up after Thanksgiving, so some of you have already done the Thanksgiving binge, then we went out for Black Friday, and I swear I'm going to make it to the gym after I go shopping on Friday. I swear I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then, of course, Friday afternoon
you
hits
know
after
what?
you went shopping.
We can talk about is kind of asking them how they did,
Yeah?
reflecting on how was the Thanksgiving, how did it go, you know, what did you do well, what did you do not well, you know,
Mhm.
Obstacles, any obstacles you guys may have encountered.
Yeah, what
Because
did-
Christmas is coming up, so then it's like, all right, prepare for the Christmas and the Christmas parties and the friends get together
That's true.
and all that.
You do a lot of get-togethers throughout the month of December, and then of course New Year's is right after that. So
Yeah.
What's 6 weeks, give or take, of just straight gatherings?
pretty much.
Because
Oh,
once
then there's the
And then if
New
it's not
Year's, right?
Christmas, I mean, I know there's Hanukkah and all those other. I mean, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on.
Yeah, well, even if you just go off like holiday parties, you know, some companies do like a Thanksgiving party, some people do like a holiday party right around there, plus whatever family gatherings you have, plus depending on how your family's laid out, you may have to hit 2 or 3 households just to do like I remember when I lived back by my whole family.
I know we have to do the 2 household thing.
I think I had to do my grandmother's house, my mom's house, my other grandmother's house, my aunt's house.
Whoa.
And that was it. So we had 4 houses we had to hit.
Is that even fun?
I mean, it is and it isn't.
Did you do that many?
Never done. I think we all always just went to grandma's house.
Met at a spot.
We
And it
all
would
went
happen
to
to always be
grandma's
grandma's.
Yeah.
Okay. But did you guys all live in the same town, city?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so
still
it wasn't
did
like,
that.
yeah, it wasn't like a lot of driving. It was customary. We went to my grandparents' house for Christmas Eve. You went to my aunt's house on Christmas Day, and then we went to my mom's house when my sister started.
So huge family,
Yeah.
huge family.
So we just like would bounce all over. And I remember as a kid, it was like, I just want to play with my toys. Just leave me here.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, can we
This-
stop
like,
Yeah.
funny story.
moving?
It's like 1 year.
You're gonna get more toys.
Like we'd always get like cool stuff. Like we would open presents like at the house because at the time when we were living south of San Antonio, we literally were like doot, 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 from grandma's house, like
Yeah.
walked across the street. So we'd open presents at the house, and they were always really cool, and some like techie stuff. And I think this year was a year that like a little robot cat had come out, and I think me and my sister had. Like, that's not surprising in any way, shape, or form for me. Me and my sister had both gotten one, but I think she got the dog. And then we go to grandma's house, and we were all excited. We had all these cool little gadgety toys and stuff. And grandma buys us stuff from like the dollar store, which is like not a big deal, but it's like stocking stuffer type
Yeah.
stuff. So little knick-knack type things. My sister gets a stapler, and that was like what she was so like the most excited about was the stapler. She was like, she pulls it out of her stocking. She was like, "Oh my gosh, a stapler!" And that's like what she played with. I mean, she was like little, younger at the time. I think she might have been like 5 or 6.
Okay.
And so like we had each got like matching colors of like stationery sets and stuff. And that's like what she was the most excited about. Mom and Dad were so mad. We're like, we spent a decent amount of money on like
that's so
tech
funny.
stuff or like, gadgety type stuff that you guys had wanted, and I could have gotten you guys freaking stationery stuff and you would have been fine. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's just what it made me think of.
Yeah.
I just want to play with my toys.
Yeah, no. That's but when you think about the households that you go to too, so my aunt was a big smoker. So this was always like, when you think about surviving, getting through it, like the house was always filled with smoke. But what we ended up doing is we ended up propping out the front door because it would ventilate the house. We'd prop the front door and the back door so that the smoke would actually blow through.
Have a way of passageway.
Yeah. And sometimes, especially if you have a big gathering of people, it's easy to do that without it being like, oh, it's cold outside. Well, it's Texas. For those of you watching in Texas, it's cold outside. All of 80 degrees right now?
Yeah.
I think
It's
this
so
morning,
nice out right now.
This morning when I had the cancellation, I sat by
And
the
it's
pool for like 15
breezy.
minutes. And it was like 60 degrees. I was like,
It's
this
breezy.
is
Look at
crazy.
this.
Yeah. But so when you think about that, that generates a nice little cross breeze, so you're not inhaling smoke. So if you have people that you don't necessarily don't want to go to their house or things like that because of
Very
the
much
cigarette
so.
smoke,
Yeah, that's a good
just,
point.
Yeah,
You're
just
right.
open some windows.
Yeah, windows too. It's just like, can we get some? It's just air,
Yeah.
just because there's a lot of people.
Because I mean, that's a big way to cost efficiency. If you got a lot of people in there, instead of cranking the air conditioning on, open 2 windows, open a vent, not a vent, turn on a fan.
We always do that.
Yeah.
We've
That's
always
what
opened
we would
windows
always do
and stuff.
at grandma's house. We'd open all the windows
Yeah.
because like it would get so stuffy in the house because the oven would be going and like we'd all be like packed into the kitchen. So we'd open like the big front windows and then the windows on the side and just let natural air. But by
Almost-
then it's cool out.
Almost in the sense of, because we are just so much in and out.
Yeah.
Because with my family, there's some people cooking outside and then there's people cooking inside in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Right, so, and then kids are playing, like, we have a tradition of football game, flag football, like, we have all these games we play, and now that Heather and I are together, I've noticed that they have, like, these walks that they do after, right? And kind of segue back to that here in a bit, why maybe the walks after are better than exercising before.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, it's just like the whole, instead of opening and closing the door and leaving the AC on and it's going to go now, just leave the doors open, right? And you're getting the smoke out. You're encouraging this in and out movement.
Yeah.
And if you guys aren't playing or going for walks, I highly encourage it because, for one, exercising after is much better.
Yeah, because when you're exercising after, you're exercising during, big thing you're going to have is just the glucose metabolism. Because a lot of the foods that you're going to eat are going to be straight carbs, straight sugar. I mean, pie, it's carbs and sugar.
Very high glycemic load.
Yeah. So you get out and you move, and then you're going to feel better because you're actually burning off some of that sugar that's actually going to lead to that hangover type feeling the next day, which is where people get kind of screwed because they just have this sugar hangover.
Yeah.
Like every single year, I would just eat and then fall asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, because like my grandparents, we usually would go to my grandparents' house, and then the past couple of years we've been going to my aunt's house or my uncle's house, and I thought grandma made a big meal. Like, holy cow. Like, I mean, then we're all going over there, and then everybody's bringing desserts. So a lot of the time, the majority of what was there was desserts, but I mean, the turkey was so big that I would eat so much protein and then snack on, like, the chips and dip and stuff from the beginning and the veggie trays. And so it's like I would have eaten so much because I graze the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like by the time I finally sit down, I'm out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a matter of like if okay, so in terms of the food itself, so if we change absolutely nothing about what they're making, so their family makes whatever they make, traditional, you know, if you're saying desserts, you know, yam,
I like where you're going
and
with
marshmallows
this.
and all that stuff. If we change nothing about the food, what can we do?
Which really you won't be able to.
Yeah, especially
I mean,
if you're not the one
You
cooking.
can take a veggie tray,
yeah,
but that's one veggie tray in the midst of
Yeah.
the smorgasbord
yeah,
of
that
like
you're
stuff.
like, let's just put this over here because no one's gonna eat that, right?
Yeah.
Somebody might just put that aside, and then you just.
You gotta put it out
But
there.
yeah, so what can they do?
Yeah,
right,
what
in
can
a
we do?
sense?
What can be
Man,
done?
I
food-wise
liked what you
without
just
that?
said. You said you would load up on the turkey,
Yeah.
on the protein. Not that we're encouraging them to load up on the protein, but just kind of make sure you get your protein that you need to eat.
Yeah.
Right? And then eat it slowly. Chew it. Not so much eat it slowly, chew it thoroughly, right? Before you swallow it. And I think that's going to help a lot.
Yeah.
That's my point.
I would say don't starve yourself before the event, because that's what people do. They're, you know, whether you're the host, whether you're going somewhere, whether what you're doing. I mean, like the scenario I laid out, you come in, you do a workout, and then, well, I'm not going to eat now because I'm going to eat a big meal later. Well, the big meal that you eat later will actually be smaller if you eat now. Because, I mean, if you went home and you had just a giant salad, you know, whatever, you're still going to be full. You're still going to have that fiber sitting in your stomach. It's going to take time to actually process and get through. So when you get somewhere, you're not starving and just going towards the first thing you see. So like what Stefanie was saying, if she's grazing, you're not grazing on the bad stuff. You can make a better decision because you're already not full, but you're already just in control.
Yeah, you're kind of,
Yeah, usually like what I would always usually do is I would fill up, like there was always a veggie tray. Somebody always brings a veggie tray.
Yeah.
And so I would just fill up on the carrots and the broccoli and, you know, whatever else it happens to be in there and just eat as much of that as I could until the turkey was done. And by the time the turkey was done, I'd get a small helping because I love the sides. Like, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat it because that's what I'm there for. That makes me happy.
Yep.
So I'm going to get a little serving of the green beans, of the yams, of the potato salad and all the other stuff. Get myself little servings of all of that so I can have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Give myself a decent sized amount of turkey. And then I'll have a slice of pie after that. But majority of what I ate was vegetables. And so, I mean, trying to make sure that you can still have what you like, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm still going to have a piece of pie. I'm still going to have a piece of pie or a piece of cake, whatever dessert happens to be there, I'm going to have a piece of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Why? Because I want to enjoy myself, and at the end of the day, I want a piece of pie.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but just, you know, the availability for you to have that by eating, you know, making sure that you're still eating healthfully in some way.
It's just being conscious of what you're eating.
Yeah.
I mean, that was exactly it.
Having a
Identify
plan.
have the plan, identify why you want those things. Because a lot of things that we want because there's a specific memory associated with it. So if your mom makes the world's best pumpkin pie, it may not be the world's best pumpkin pie. You may just be thinking about it.
hate to break it to you, bro. You're just hungry.
Yeah, you are. Thankfully, my mom doesn't make pumpkin pie, so I'm safe on that one.
Yeah. Do you like pumpkin pie?
I do like pumpkin pie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I know, I love pumpkin pie.
You see, man, I'm not a sucker for the sweets.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of food on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, just
I've gotten
just
better
eat a
about
lot.
it because it's not worth it. At the end of the day, like Yeah, it was great to taste it.
Yeah.
But I feel like crap afterwards. So.
I got
Yeah.
you.
And it hangs out too long. Like, it really does. It's food hangover.
It's
Well,
so heavy.
you know
It's
what?
very
That
heavy.
might be what it is for me, because I've never had the, like, when I looked at it, I was never like, man, I can't wait to get to you. Like, by the time I looked at it, I'm like, man, you've been sitting out for a good 2-3 hours, maybe even just an hour. But I'm like, nah, this is covered in foil, and it's hot. Something about it hot that I like. So I prefer food over the sweets. Lucky me, right?
Yeah, thanks.
But I love
That's
chips,
good.
so I got salt issues.
Yeah.
But so there's the issues, right? But have a plan.
Yeah.
If I eat plenty of food, balance. My first plate is balanced. If you can commit to a balanced first plate, right? That's definitely gonna limit what you end up doing.
And that's true. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if
If you like, just
you know what should be on your plate, I mean, if you have the availability for vegetables, try to fit that half your plate with vegetables and things like that.
Yeah.
You can still enjoy everything that's there. Like I said, in smaller amounts. I mean, I do like 1 or 2 little spoonfuls of, the mashed potatoes and all that stuff because I like it. It tastes good.
Yeah.
Because it's what I enjoy being around my family. It's like you said, memories for me. That's those flavors, those tastes are all family for me.
Yeah.
So to kind of give you guys an idea, 'cause some guys probably know what a balanced meal is, but 1 to 2 palms of protein. Women usually get 1, men 2, 1 to 2 fists of vegetables, and maybe 2 cupped handfuls of the starchy carbs, right? This food that we're basically really looking forward to. And basically I would be limited to that. If there's some avocado that you guys have at the table for any reason, I don't think we ever have avocado.
We got butter.
Yeah, butter. Try to make it real butter if you can talk people into that. Maybe that's what you should take.
Real butter.
Don't take the veggie tray because somebody else will take that. Take the real butter.
Yeah, or bring both veggie tray and the butter.
Oh, there you go. That's even better. Take bags. Save money. Take the bags of carrots. Make your own veggie tray.
Yeah.
And then the money you save, get the butter.
There you go.
Way to do it.
But something else I wanted to touch on was commit to that. Like, so kind of creating a plan for you guys as I kind of see what we're doing is create a plan, commit to the first plate of a balanced meal, and then before you get that second meal, wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or even 3. Just commit to waiting a specific amount of time before you get that second plate. Give time for that communication to get up to the brain to say, nah, you're good.
Yeah.
Like, go for a walk first, earn the second plate. Even though that it's still obviously going to be more in the outrun, but think of what you would have done and what you've done in the past, and just you walking is good, just to help your body kind of mobilize it.
Yeah. As opposed to what everyone normally does, they basically lay down right after they finish eating.
Watch the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I guess they're kind of good now, so it's all right. It's not a complete waste, but I still think it's a waste. I'd much rather just go, because after I eat and I sit on the couch, I want to sit on the couch for about 5 minutes maybe. And then I'm like, let's go walk. Let's go throw the football. Let's go stand in the sun.
Let's go do something.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always fell asleep because all my family would not do anything, and
So
I don't
you're just
have
like
any
us.
desire to watch the football game because I don't really care. But
Yeah.
it's like so everybody else is kind of doing
You're
their
like, I
thing,
got a good spot.
and I sit there and I will whoop, and I'll just kind of go to sleep.
And then everybody falls asleep.
Yeah. It was actually, my sister took my phone one time. I was home for Christmas. And Ava was playing with my other sisters. And I literally was on the couch. We just finished eating. And we're all just sitting around. It was Christmas. So kids were all playing with their toys. We're watching the kids play with their toys. And
Yep.
and I've got a whole bunch of her taking selfies with me passed out on the couch.
Dude, oh my gosh.
Awesome.
It's a recap of the meeting.
Yeah, I was about to say the meeting. I was going out too.
Yeah.
But you were. Oh
I'm
my
done.
gosh. I woke up because I was laughing at you.
I know.
So I was awake. I was like, oh good, I'm not tired anymore.
Yeah, I was gone.
It was
I
so
woke up at one point, looked around, I was like,
Yeah, you're like, screw this. It's so funny.
there was no cares.
Yeah.
No cares left.
What's your guys' favorite food at Thanksgiving? Is it a typical traditional dish, or is it something? I got something different.
It is very traditional, but I've always looked forward to why can't I think of
Stuffing.
No, only
okay.
until the last 2 years have I actually started to like stuffing.
Wow,
I used to
still
hate
hate
stuffing.
stuffing.
The last
You
couple
love
of
it,
years.
I'm sure. I'm just kidding the way I said it.
I'm sure.
I'm just
Yes.
kidding. Nah, but I've had some good stuffing that I have liked, but it's just no offense to my
think it just
family. I
depends.
don't like their stuffing.
Yeah.
I think it depends. No, the yam, the sweet potato casserole. That's always been something that I've always
Whoa.
looked forward to. It
Okay,
was like,
what's
that was my
what's in it?
favorite.
Please tell me more.
So the way my family, it's not necessarily good for you, but the way my family's always done it is you get the,
Tony's like, yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
That's the one time a year. We'll get to that part in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, and it'd be usually canned yams, and then some butter, pecans or walnuts or some sort of nut.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of brown sugar. My family is always really good with that. Is putting a little bit of brown sugar.
Oh,
on
good.
it.
Yeah, I
And then
have
marshmallows
clients
on
that
the top.
admit to it a lot.
And so
You say marshmallows?
and marshmallows on
Okay.
top. And to me, that's just like it's
See?
so good. But it's when it's warm, like you said, like when it's warm and it's fresh out the oven, like
Do you like it as leftovers?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so as long as you just reheat it, you're good.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
gotcha.
No, I love that's like if I put a little bit too much of something on my plate, it's usually the sweet potato casserole. Like I don't know why. It's
You
just
love
so,
it.
so good.
That's so, see, and I don't like sweet potatoes. So
Really?
I'm just like, later's casserole.
Yeah.
Here, Steph, you can have my plate.
I love it. It's good.
It took me years before I started liking sweet potatoes.
Really?
Yeah, like I wouldn't eat them until I started competing, and that's when I started eating them. Because I was under the bro science mentality of gotta eat sweet potatoes, you can't eat regular
Got
potatoes.
you. So you're
I
like,
would muscle those things
you're
down.
like, eventually
Eventually I got.
your taste buds went numb.
Yeah, I was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll just do it again. Now I like it.
Dude, I can't handle it, man. I
Really?
eat it and I'm just like,
Is it because of the texture?
They're stringy.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
it's a
know,
different-
dude.
If they're not cooked
No,
right-
it's more so the taste.
Really?
Like, I mean, Heather, you've had Heather's food.
Yeah.
I think you may have had sweet
Yeah.
potato, her sweet potatoes, and so they're good. I'm just like,
Nice,
nah.
Nah.
Like and I won't even serve them now. And
Yeah.
Heather knows that I don't like them, so if she makes them, she's just like, it's for her. I think. Oh, Sarah hates them too. It's so
Aw.
funny. Yeah. And so now as Heather just doesn't even make them. She's like, fine, you guys win.
Aw.
Battle
Two
one.
for three. Yeah, 2 out of 3. So my favorite food is it's like a Mexican dish. It's called asado, and we make it out. And so it's a big tradition. Like we make it outside, and my dad has made this. We call it a disco, but it's just welded metal that he's put together because he can weld it, and he's welded it. It's got the sides and loops and he's made his own spoon, like this big ass spoon, because you dig a hole in the ground,
Yeah.
and you put. And we got lazy the last few years, which I'm mad about. We need to fix that. We've been using propane tanks,
Oh, okay.
but we used to like dig a hole and put fire, like keep the fire going. And so the disco, you put it on top, over, right? And you like stick it into the ground, and then you put like I think water to get it boiling, and then you put the meats, lard, manteca is what it is in the Mexican culture, oregano, and then this red chili pepper. I forget what the actual name of it is, but it's just really really good. I'm probably missing a few ingredients. There's some salt, obviously, which I've gotten them to switch to the Himalayan sea salt now, so that's cool. And then I'm missing a few things, right? But you make this, right? And it's this whole thing. You have to keep checking it. And what we do is we have everybody kind of do it together.
Okay.
So everybody's checking it together. And then when it's all done, you scoop it out. But then there's obviously some sauce left,
Yeah.
right? So by that time, as we're scooping it out, the inside people, right, the women usually,
Yeah.
are making the tortillas for us, right?
Oh, shit.
And we use that to scoop it out. So we clean the disco with a tortilla. So it's so bad. Like,
Sounds so good
it's
though.
so amazing because it's so hot.
Yeah.
And like not hot in the sense of like like hot burning, but it just got cooked,
Yeah.
right? And and then sometimes, most times for Thanksgiving, there's homemade tortillas, or there's at least a few that we use, and oh man, it's the best. And then when I get to the dinner table, I add more. So that's what I eat the most of, absolutely, by far. Next is broccoli and cheese, but that's just a side thing that I eat next of. But my favorite is that.
But that goes back to when we started with the what you're eating and why, and you're like, I like the hot food more.
Mhm.
Like literally, that probably comes from part of that because
Yeah.
that's the memories.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, like you eat things based on emotion.
Yeah.
So that right there sums up why
In my family, I'm like my uncles, because they're the ones who got the secret recipe, right? But me and my dad make it too. But
we make it our way.
yeah, my uncles just think that. But when I was like 2, 3, 4 years old, I was doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, since I was a kid, I'm like the first one, fucking like hot sauce all over my face.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-year-old eating this hot stuff. But like you're right, there's that memory that I'm never gonna give up.
Yeah.
Like, cause that's tradition though, and I'm huge on that. Like that's a big thing for me. Cause we're kind of like playing football and hanging out, and we play washers and horseshoes and darts and whatever, right? While we're kind of cooking outside. It's pretty cool.
But that goes back to like identify the why. So like we know now why you go this way.
That's true.
It makes perfect
That's
sense.
true. It was a perfect
And it's
example.
like you can see the excitement behind it and everything else. Same with Stefanie. Like it's the sweet potato casserole. You can see that's like it's more of a sugary thing. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's like I just love it. This is the vibe of the family. This is everything else that's going on. This is what goes into that meal. And there you are. It's like, oh shit. It all makes sense now.
I like that you say that though, because it's like now I'm going back and I'm thinking, because Thanksgiving and Christmas in my family, totally different culture. Like, it's like the American, like the white side of my family, because I'm Hispanic.
Yeah.
And so it's like the white side, people don't believe that. I know.
That's the only reason.
That's really it. But the funny part is my mom is Hispanic, and my dad gets the Hispanic last name from his stepdad.
Whoa, oh my gosh, that's funny.
It's weird, right? Yeah.
So your dad's white, your mom's Hispanic.
Yeah.
But your dad's got that's where the
Hispanic last
Yanis
name
comes
from-
from.
yeah.
Ah, that's cool.
But
dude,
like,
that mixed culture is crazy. It's
it's
so
awesome. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's so awesome.
But like Thanksgiving for me has always been very traditionally like white, I guess, with the casseroles and the pies and this, none of the Mexican culture really ever kind of leaked into that.
Okay.
But when I go to Christmas, we would make tamales. We would make
Same family?
Same family. Same family.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and we would make tamales. We would make, like, I remember the little assembly line in my grandparents' house thinking, man, these counters are so high, but now I'm in there, I'm like, they're like down here. And I'm like, man.
You did that work.
We would make, we would rip the
signed up for
masa,
that.
we would, I mean, it was the all day.
That's so cool, though. Yeah,
And we would do all that stuff for Christmas. And it's like, and I think about it, and like, for Christmas, we would have ham, and we would have the tamales, and we would have homemade tortillas, and my grandma would make the, like, she has, what are they called? The cast iron pans. Like, all of my grandma's cast iron pans. I'm like, I want those.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, there's so. I mean,
Heather was telling me that's what she wants to eventually have, nothing but cast iron.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she would make just like, the best way I can think about it is like breakfast potatoes. But we would have those too, and like eggs and bacon. Like, all of that stuff is that's all Christmas for me. It's like the Mexican kind of Hispanic side is all Christmas because that's just ended up how it was. So when I think about Thanksgiving, I think of traditional Thanksgiving in terms of what probably majority of the United States thinks of.
Yeah.
But it's like when I think about Christmas, that's that side of
cool.
my culture.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. I just thought that was interesting.
That's cool, right?
Yeah, I think that's cool.
All right, Tony, you're up.
So ours was the same. So we had the traditional, American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then I grew up in an Italian household, so we had like ziti's and lasagna and like
Ooh.
cakes and stuff like that. Like it was literally like my aunt used to make like honey balls, which are just like balls of dough coated in honey and sugar and like other things.
Oh my gosh!
So-
So donut holes essentially.
I was gonna
Yes,
sounds
yeah, but like
so
they're like
good. My
slightly
mouth is watering.
crispier.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's way better.
I know it was like I don't even know what the heck it was made with, but it was amazing. And they had the sprinkles, like the colored sprinkle, not like the regular sprinkles, like the sprinkle beads.
Oh, I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yes.
I know.
So it's like pure sugar coated in
Yes.
sugar and then fried.
Yes.
And then obviously the other foods like the Italian cookies and everything else. So it was like a massive difference. But I remember the same thing. Like we had the assembly of all the ziti's and lasagnas at the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
Every year we would spend hours and I mean I remember the pan. Obviously as a kid, the pan was like yay big by yay big, and we had to fill this thing up with sauce and everything else.
Yeah.
Mix it all up, cut up all the cheese, cut up all the put all the noodles and everything else, and then do
Stir it. Yeah.
So, like for
Like
me,
the
I would
process.
say, yeah, it's like then I can see why I'd gravitate that way because it's literally the one thing that you knew. It's Christmas Eve. Everyone's coming to the house at like 5 o'clock.
Man, like
we start now.
I'll be honest, and I think maybe you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm not a huge people person, like groups. And even if it's family, like, but if it's like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, like those big ones, I think that's it. Just those 3. I'm like, man, I can't wait to see my family.
Yeah.
But the other times I'm like, oh God, I gotta go hang out with my family.
I don't wanna.
Like, geez, there's gonna be so many people. It's so loud. But those other ones, it's just one of those like I'm looking forward to. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's because all the customs that come with it.
Yeah.
Because it's more of an event versus that whole, I'm just gonna go hang out, maybe have some food, catch up with everybody.
Yeah.
We're having an event. The whole family is here for an event.
See, that's how Thanksgiving is for us. Thanksgiving is just we're just getting together and we're having
Yeah.
food because the United States
Yeah.
dictates that's what we do.
Yeah.
And so we do. But Christmas is the event. Christmas is we
It's
get
a bigger
together.
event. Yeah, I can see
like
that.
we get together and we all just it's fun and we stay up late. We play board games. Like we played
Yeah.
Rummy Cube. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's like an old game of like it's got dominoes and you have to I don't know how to describe this game like but it's awesome. Like we all sit down and I look forward to it. Like I look forward to eating all the good food, not necessarily good for you, but I mean eating everything that we made. And then just sitting down and just being together. Because in Thanksgiving, they all go watch football.
Yeah.
We might kind of one-off conversations, but when we're all together, we're all at the table. We all play games, and it's funny because it's like watching my grandparents, play the games, and my grandma's cheating, and all those things. And it's just like, it's fun. Like that's for me, the Christmas is that for me is the get together and just looking forward to that. Getting being around my family for that.
Yeah.
So I agree.
I think all of that was the why. If you find the why behind that favorite food, man, I think that justifies it.
Yeah.
Right? And you still justify it, and because if you can again have a plan, and then if you're like sticking to your other stuff, your normal plan, right? The day in, day out stuff. These one day here and that one day there really isn't going to ruin it.
Yeah.
Right? And especially if you go into those one day here and one day there with like a plan to where it's not really that bad. Yeah, you got to enjoy the sweets, but you still got your other checks in the boxes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, even that, like, so, funny enough, like the Mike Tyson quote, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So when you think about a family event, sometimes you get blindsided about what's about to happen to you.
Yeah.
You walk in the house and they've got all this stuff, memories start to come back. You start, not even thinking, you're eating as you're talking. Next thing you know, somebody puts something in front of you. Just know that day, it's isolated. It is Thanksgiving. It doesn't have to carry on 6 days later.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to do that. Like, big thing with like leftovers, I mean, you see it here all the time. People will like bring donuts in, they bring like cakes in. They just leave it down in the administrative area, and all of a sudden it vanishes. It's like a whole bunch of little food gnomes come in.
Yeah.
But do that. Like, if you've got a crap ton of stuff left over, do like a little like follow-up party. Like, go somewhere and like share your leftovers because you got them. I mean, everyone's eating leftovers the next day.
That's true.
Or bring them to a like designated location where other people who aren't you will actually.
Oh, when I take leftovers, when I take leftovers, I only take like the protein, and of course I take some of the sweet potato casserole. But and then I don't have a choice. But a lot of the other like healthier options is what I pack to leave because we don't ever host Thanksgiving. We usually go somewhere, and so I let them keep all the sweets and all of that stuff because if I don't take it home with me, I'm not gonna eat it.
Yeah.
So
that's a big part. Just leave it where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you get stuck with it and it's a crap load and you just know you shouldn't have that, just throw it away.
Yeah, if you know it's gonna be
Like it's
disastrous
sugar,
for you.
it's not doing anything for anybody.
Yeah.
Your dogs can't have it. Cats can't have it.
Yeah, I mean,
You shouldn't give it to your coworkers because they're just gonna get fat from it.
which could be a plus. I mean, a holiday challenge, just how to win.
Oh, sabotage. Oh, I see what you're doing. Just kidding.
I know you guys don't have willpower. Just leave it there.
So when we start seeing a bunch of like sweets in the
Yeah, you know where it
front
came from.
office, we'll know where it's from. Okay.
It's like the 15th day in a row there's been donuts downstairs. I don't know where it came
Dude,
from.
oh man, yeah, that's
It's sabotage. Or, I mean, this is also it's true. Like, as you're driving through, like, I know this sounds horrible, but like, as you drive through San Antonio, or as you drive through any other city, unless you're in like smaller towns and villages, you're gonna see like homeless people. Give that to them. Like,
good option. That's a very good option.
It may not be the healthiest thing for them, but it's better for you to. I mean, but think about it. It's better for you to give something like to somebody else
and-
instead of like because there was the question: do I give money? What are they going to do with the money? What's going on there? And 9 times out of 10, if they're out there and they're legitimately homeless and hungry, because I have some questions about some of them. Some of them are dressed really, really nice to be homeless for like 6 years, according to their sign. I watched one. There was actually a true story of this, but I'll finish my thought first, and I'll get into that. All my true stories. But you give it to somebody. Because if they're really out there, they're hungry, they're looking for food, they don't care what it is. They don't care if it's soup potato casserole.
Yeah.
They don't care if it's half of a pumpkin pie. They're like, cool, this is a meal.
And it might take them back to the memories at least.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a few seconds of, man, I remember when I had this.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you might also make that person's day.
Yeah.
Maybe nobody else has looked at them today. Maybe nobody else has acknowledged them today. And for you to stop, I mean, that makes them feel like they're a person again, which is good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, sometimes we all need that.
We had that, so we went to pub crawl. It's a different story.
Oh, I was about to say story.
Yeah.
Story.
We went on a pub crawl, and there was this guy who was like, I was supposedly homeless, whatever else, and we're sitting there, and I was in college at the time, and the guy was like, hey, do you have any money, whatever else, and I was like, hang on one second, I had like 15 minutes before the train left, so I run in, there's a pizza place there, I buy this guy like the pizza that was like on the shelf, I'm like, hey, I need that pizza, don't heat it, whatever else, like, I need it to go, like, right now, and I gave it to the guy, and my mom's like looking for me, because she's on the train. Now, keep in mind, I'm 21 at the time, so getting on a train and making everything happen, it's my mom's worried. Yeah. I got this, though. And, of course, the train's going to take off without me, but whatever.
No big deal.
No big deal. So I give the guy a pizza.
That's
Mom,
what
what are you doing?
Texas.
I was like, well, I was giving the homeless guy a pizza, and she's like, seriously? I was like, yeah, why is it? Like, is that weird? She's like, no, it's like a really nice thing to do for somebody. And I was like, well, I hate to be a dick, but, like, I can give him the food, or I can make him, like, give him the money, and then he can kind of do whatever. I'm like, if he's asking me for food, I'm going to get him food.
Yeah.
I don't, this way,
Yeah.
I'm going to hand you something.
Yeah.
It's from someplace. You now have a full pizza that you can take with you wherever you go. And you know it's going to last you, like, at least a day and a half.
Yeah, a few years ago, I was downtown, and this guy came up to me, and he was like, so, hey, do you have any spare change, any money? And I'm like, nah, man. And I was like, I have money, but I'm not going to give it to you. Do you want food? I'll go buy you food.
Yeah.
We can walk to Whataburger. And he was like, yeah, man. And I was like, cool. Like, let's walk. Do you know where it's at? He's like, because I was also worried, right? So this is dark. And I was like, you know where it's at? And I was like, cool, well, then let's go. So he was leading me there. And sure enough, we walked into Whataburger, walked up to the front. I'm like, he wants a number, I think he said, 5. And then I paid for it, and I walked right out. And that was it. Like, it was just, again, because there is that one time I saw my dad give this guy money, and the dude literally took it and walked around the stop sign and back into the store. And my dad was getting gas, so he hadn't left yet. And he came out with a beer can. Yeah. So my dad was so pissed. Yeah. From that moment on, my dad I don't think he's given people money, because he's just like, it's because of that one issue, right? With that one experience.
I've given a guy money, like, because he was like, look, I'm going to be honest. He's like, whatever you give me, I'm going to use it to buy beer. And I was like, all right, you're being honest. That's fair. I gave him $1. I was like, you're honest. I'd rather you be honest with me, and that's fine.
It's something about that. Yeah,
I'd rather you be honest. I gave him $1. I think that's all I had, and I was, here. But yeah, I've bought someone food before, and I've also given people money, being like, really hope that you're not going to go to the liquor store. Yeah. And I've watched them go walk to Whataburger and get themselves food, and I'm like, all right, it makes me feel better that you had something.
Yeah. And this is the first story. I was leaving here one day, and I was sitting in traffic, and I was right by where Pollo Tropical was. Now it's closed down.
They shut down already?
They shut down already.
Whoa.
I don't know what happened, but I just know they shut down.
Dude, I went once. I hated it.
I didn't like it.
Well, the service just they messed my order up. I'm like, you guys.
Right over
1604 in like the UTSA area.
Yeah.
Like
that one.
Yeah,
that is closed down because it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't that great.
That Whataburger's not giving up.
No.
That owns that land.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Whataburger choke you right out.
Because it's Whataburger.
Yeah. Shout out Whataburger.
I have spent so many late nights studying, because I used to. I was an RA in the dorms right there on that same. You go to Whataburger, it's like right there. I was an RA there. I walked across the street, go get Whataburger in the middle of the night because I was in the middle of studying, and walked back.
Yeah.
That Whataburger has had so much of my money.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This car in front of me, it was Ford Explorer. It was like brand new, like super shiny, whatever else. And I'm looking at it. It still has the paper plates on it. and it's in front of me. We're sitting in traffic, so it's not like I'm going anywhere. And I see the guy because I'm looking forward. He leans over, kisses his wife, girlfriend, whatever she was, the driver, because they're sitting in front of me for like 20 minutes because the traffic there sucks. And I'm like watching this whole exchange. I see the door pop open, and he gets out. His pants are all ripped up. His shirt's like all ripped up. Like steps out of the car, grabs his bag, which is like a beat up book bag, puts his hand in the dirt, goes like this, and walks over to the corner and pulls out his sign.
What?
Yeah, I mean, this dude like got out of a brand new car and started panhandling.
Dude,
I don't know if maybe
so funny.
I'm sure there's more to that story. I'm sure there has to be some sort of backstory there. But I'm like,
no, I think that it is what it is right there.
Yeah,
like I don't think it gets more crystal clear.
yeah. I'm like, 'cause I'm watching the whole exchange, and then when that part happened, I was like, I mean, and he like just walked right over, took his spot, and
He's like, I don't care if you guys saw me, but the next
30 people aren't going to see this.
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm always kind of skeptical. It's like I always kind of like, I'm like, I've got 50 cents,
Yeah.
but I don't
Dude,
really want to give it to you.
I like Googled it one time. In the big cities, they can make like 20, 30,000
Mm-hmm.
tax free. You don't have a house. Like, I mean, granted, you don't have a house, but they probably got a cell phone.
Yeah.
They probably got a car. Like,
Well, that was. Did you ever see?
and they might actually have a house. Who knows?
Did you see the Iron Fist? It's the Marvel show on Netflix.
No, I haven't seen it.
I haven't
So
watched it yet.
they reference that like the homeless guy has a smartphone. Like he's got a cell phone, and he's like talking to the guy. He's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, oh, just Google it. He's like, what do you mean? He takes out his phone. He's like, well, the homeless guy's got a phone.
Yeah, like
But there was a New
it's
York.
more important than having a house, I guess.
But think about it. There was an article that was released that panhandlers can make up to $400 a day. Just in. I mean, so think about it. Like you said,
Oh my
$30,000 a year.
Somebody gives you $2, $3, 30 cents, 45 cents.
I mean, it adds up.
in an hour you might get 20, 30 bucks.
Yeah.
Like that's
I mean,
prime time,
and if you think about
lunch
it,
hour,
if you have
and you get lunch.
Yeah. If you have somebody that you live with who's like got a lease in their name, you're splitting the bills with somebody, and you're making $20,000 tax free,
Oh my God.
just sitting on the street.
Crazy.
So
Do
you
you
don't
think how
have to
much
go
I was
home.
there to do that?
Yeah.
You want lunch money? Let's go to the corner.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, recap. Let's finish. What's the summary?
So in summary, just be ready for the holidays. Be mindful of the fact that you're going to eat some stuff that's probably not going to be appropriate. Don't overtax yourself before you go somewhere.
Oh, that's what you really wanted to touch on.
Yeah, because I mean, and we can
Oh,
touch on
you
that.
know what? We should, before we do that, let's real quick touch on alcohol.
So this is a big thing that everyone gets into. It's the holidays, I'm going to drink, and whatever else. Or I need to drink to survive my family, or whatever it is. I mean, and it's there, trust me. We hear it. We hear like
I
horror
was gonna say,
stories
I know
about
lots
families.
of people who said that.
And we've also...
It does help.
Yeah, oh, it does. It definitely does. But when you think about what's happening in your system, when you start drinking, it's basically you're taking extra carbs and putting it on top of the carbs you already consumed.
Yeah.
And one, you may get hungover, you may throw up, which is also horrible. But when you look at the actual breakdown of alcohol, and this is where we were talking about the truth about alcohol, and I'll put a thing down here. But when you start drinking, your body stops responding the way that it should. So now you're actually going to increase your desire for more sugar, which is going to be left over the next day. So your body's burning off that alcohol, and then it's going to want to go back to burning sugar long before it ever wants to go back to burning fat. So your sugar cravings go up. So the next day you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm going to start today. I'm going to get rid of all this food that I brought home with me that, I have this emotional attachment to. And
Or
you're gonna
that's
look
at the
it.
office that some other people are taking.
Yeah, some other people. I don't know who was ever going to
Yeah,
do
I
that.
don't, geez, how dare they?
No idea. Highs are end up all over the place. And then you're like, that's what your body wants to run off of. So then you start seeing it, and you're like, oh, why can't I stop doing this? And it's because you've created that cycle, and having the alcohol in your system. If you were just to go with just having whatever cakes and pies, and whatever else, it wouldn't be as bad. Your body would actually go back relatively quicker. Versus having the alcohol, lowering your body's ability to burn fat, and increase your body's ability to burn sugar and burn the alcohol itself. And then, like I said, once that's gone, now your body's going to want to burn sugar because it's a ton more work to burn fat, and the sugar's all around you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Your body's
That's
gonna
very
want
true.
whatever's easiest.
Yeah.
And when alcohol is present in the body, the body prefers to burn alcohol versus sugar or fat. So until it gets rid of your alcohol, everything you are eating is going to be stored as fat because we're mammals, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just alcohol, man. You know what? I don't drink alcohol when I'm at events anymore. Like, Heather's at the point where she's pouring me glasses of wine, and they end up, I mean, you saw the other night, like, they were ending up just in places, and she's like, drink your wine. I'm like, all right, like, drink a sip, and I'm like, nah, like, I'm done, I don't want it. So, good for me, but it's just, again, try to limit the alcohol for sure.
Yeah.
Don't get crazy with it.
Yeah,
I mean, that can also be a setback for some people, because I know some people who, some of my clients too, that, they have one beer and then they have 12. Like, there's not a, just
That's
one
true.
or either.
If you're that type of person, you definitely shouldn't have any.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, that's just one of those, like, you just know how you are. Like, plan that ahead of time. Find something else.
But that goes back to, like you said, like, I don't like hanging out with a lot of people until I'm with my family. And that's the hardest thing, because family has a tendency to, hey, do you need another drink? Do you want another drink? And of course, you're sitting there, you're talking. Maybe you're not even realizing it, because I've been there. This actually happened with one of my uncles. A horribly true story. My mom kept, like, filling the glasses. Like, every time someone was putting them down, they were filling glasses of wine. So he normally had a system to keep track of how many he had. So in his head, he had 3, because he refilled his glass 3 times. But because everyone else was topping off the glasses they were going, it never got past, like, half a glass. So, of course, the end of the night happens, and he's, like, throwing up in a garbage can. He can't figure out how he got there. And it's like, my mom was telling him the next day, she's like, yeah, it was my fault. I topped off the glass.
That's
She's
so
just like,
horrible.
Yeah, it was just like, you do it. You're like, you're doing other stuff, and you see the glasses.
She's playing host.
Yeah, you're just
I mean, it's not
topping everything
necessarily,
off.
that wasn't like she was
It's
doing
so
it to be
funny,
ugly.
though. Oh
It's
my
just,
gosh.
I mean, it's just how it.
And
I only had 3. What the heck?
Yeah, it's like the 3 most important wine glasses of the planet.
Yeah, 3 bottles.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because she would sit there, and they went through how much wine they actually drank. And she's like, no, you had to have had at least a bottle yourself, because there was like 4 of us drinking it. We went through 4 bottles. And like, I know there were a couple other glasses that were taking it. She's like, but I know I was filling as I was going.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing this, and I'm like, you just tried to kill the guy.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
My poor uncle just almost died because you were just like being a good host.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So, I mean, alcohol is one of those things, like, I remember in college, they were talking about how fast, like, you can get roofied. I know, completely off topic. But when you think about it, it's the same thing happens. Somebody fills up your glass, and you're looking at it going, I thought I drank more than that. Or, like, when you go to a restaurant, you get, like, a new drink.
So easy, you're so
and
right.
you come back, and you're like, I didn't have 5 sodas. Yeah, you did, because every time you left, we just brought a new one back to you. You just didn't realize it. You're like, what the hell happened? So it's the same thing with alcohol. It's very easy to get in your system because it's liquid, so you're not going to get full from it. When it's in your system, your body starts to metabolize everything faster because it's trying to get rid of the alcohol. So then you start getting hungry because your body's actually running faster than it normally would.
Pizza and beer.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a single person watching this who hasn't had like a bad night of eating attached to the bad night of, well, actually my uncle, who just drank. But seriously, if you haven't had a bad night of eating attached to a bad night of drinking, that's like a 1 in a million.
Yeah.
Most people are like, yeah, I drink, and then I go to Whataburger, or I go to pizza.
Yeah.
So right.
I mean, we had in our...
I mean, you might survive one night every now and then, but the norm, the average is most likely
Yeah,
to be...
most time when you start drinking,
Yeah,
and
bad.
then usually, I mean, at least for me, like, drinking is a social event, so there's usually food,
Mhm.
and it's not always necessarily great food, like great for you food. So I mean, yeah, there's been a handful of times that
And then
drank
there's
too much and ate
that,
too
what
much.
alcohol give, it's the I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah.
Like, where you're just like, if you drink too much, you're just, at the point you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that second slice of cake. And that's that. So again, it's moderation with everything.
Yeah.
Have a plan, maybe commit to the first plate, wait a few minutes, 3, 5, 10 minutes before you get the second, and then just decide what dessert you're gonna stick, maybe, or desserts, but just give yourself a limit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the bigger the first plate is, the better that dessert's going to go. Because you won't be able to go with it.
Yeah, so you're right.
But I mean, it's still that first commitment. You decide to fix one thing, change one thing, whether it's eating before you go, whether it's committing to the first plate, whether it's going for a walk, doing some sort of activity, something.
Have a plan.
Anything that you do that's out of the ordinary will impact how much weight you're going to potentially put on throughout the holiday season.
That's true.
And it's like, okay, so like you said, like Heather's family go for a walk after they've eaten everything. Well, at that point, if you have any alcohol in your system, you're burning it off.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any sugar in your system, you're burning it off.
Yeah.
You're going to get a better night's sleep because you're not going to bed with a belly full of like wine or beer or whatever
Yeah,
else.
yeah, and just overload of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I liked it.
That's
A
good.
couple of weird tangents, but that's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
thing about that's the holidays.
That's the thing with
That's true.
that.
It really
I
is,
like that.
like-
There you go.
Everything about the holidays is remember that time
those are
when
topics you can bring up in your holiday conversations.
That's true.
Yeah, because it's going to be a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, next week, what do you guys want to talk about? Anything? If you guys have anything specific, please let us
Yeah,
know.
let us know. It's an awesome question.
Well,
what's
people
next
travel a
weekend?
lot. Maybe we can touch. Oh, next week is Black Friday, so we might not.
So
Well, I'm working.
I won't be working.
You won't be here.
Yeah, what do you guys do without me? I'd make them in.
I
Depends on what time
won't.
Katie
I'm
is
just
on.
wondering. It
We'll
don't
figure it
matter.
out.
I was just
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so we'll figure out a topic this week because we could
but
probably
either
do
way,
more
we still
holiday
have one
survival
coming
tips.
out.
Yeah.
On Friday, you're still going to release
Well,
the.
this one will be up on Black Friday.
Oh, so
So
perfect.
yeah, because we have one from coming out today.
Oh,
this
and
one.
then
Oh, excuse me.
are we going to have a bye week?
We may have a bye week if we have to. Yeah, it's fine.
Because the next one we record, you have to edit it and put it out basically by Sunday, right? When do you put them out?
I try and get them up by Fridays.
Oh,
But,
so
yeah,
you-
I
It's
just have to
also a
get
matter
better.
of when I get them
Yeah,
edited.
but that's also comes down
Oh,
to
okay.
Yeah, because if
she
I don't
does
get
the
them edited
editing,
on time,
and
then
then I
it's
get my
delayed.
hard drive to her.
Gotcha.
So like this week, I have all the stuff ready. So I just gotta finish editing and
Yeah.
hope that YouTube doesn't screw me like it did on this one.
Yeah.
Doesn't blow up.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, this is Isaac.
This is Anthony.
This is Stephanie.
See you next time.
Thank you guys very much. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Hope your Thanksgiving is great.
Yes, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Hopefully you're not hungover watching this, which would make it funnier.
It would, just a little bit. You're like, man, I did all of that.
That
All of
was
those
that,
things.
that whole tangent was literally my house. at Thanksgiving. I know those people. I sat with them. I got drunk with them. That
Oh,
guy
dear.
throwing up the garbage can, that was me. So if you don't have that guy, that was you.
Yeah, if you don't remember, it was probably you.
Yeah, you. Who threw up last night?
Oh gosh, why does my head hurt so much?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for checking us out. If you like this, go ahead, like it, share it, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.